Our man in the northeast, Ian Murtagh, has dived into the archives and picked his top 5 Newcastle home games from recent years. October 31, 2010, Newcastle 5, Sunderland 1. If Carlsberg did derbies. This was the day Andy Carroll terrorised Sunderland. Kevin Nolan became a Toon legend with a hat-trick, and Shola Ameobi fueled his reputation as the Mackem slayer. Steve Bruce's Sunderland were fancied to win the game, but the boyhood Newcastle fan cut a forlorn figure on the touchline as the hosts blew his side away. The Magpies were 3 up at half-time, and when Titus Bramble was sent off in the 53rd minute, humiliation beckoned. Ameobi doubled his tally with arguably the finest goal of his Newcastle career before Nolan celebrated a famous hat-trick with a bizarre chicken celebration. Incredibly, within a month of this win, Toon chief Chris Hughton was fired. February 5, 2011, Newcastle 4, Arsenal 4. The late Cheick Tiote did not score many goals, but his scorching 25-yard volley in the 87th minute, which earned Newcastle the unlikeliest of draws, has gone down in Geordie folklore. At half-time, Alan Pardew's side were 4 down, and, quite frankly, lucky to have nil. They had been dominated so comprehensively, journalists were going through the record books to check out the heaviest home defeats in the club's history. The match turned when Abou Diaby was sent off just after the restart, though it took until the 68th minute, when Joey Barton scored from the penalty spot for Newcastle to open their account. Barton kept his cool again from 12 yards to make it 4-3 with 7 minutes to go after Leon Best had scored Newcastle's second. Pandemonium went Tiote let fly with the greatest goal of his career. There was still time for Kevin Nolan to shoot inches wide in injury time. February 2, 2013, Newcastle 3, Chelsea 2. Moussa Sissoko has scored just 1 league goal in 82 outings for Tottenham, and his Toon record was hardly prolific. Yet Newcastle fans thought they'd found themselves the quintessential goal-scoring midfielder when the Frenchman arrived from Toulouse during the New Year transfer window. Sissoko scored 3 times in his first 2 games at St James Park, and it was the first of them for which he is best remembered. In a seesaw contest, Chelsea, managed by a certain Rafa Benitez, cancelled out Jonas Gutierrez's first half opener with goals from Frank Lampard and Juan Mata before the new signing took over. Sissoko equalised in the 68th minute before smashing home a dramatic last-minute winner. Bizarrely, the game's most fondly recalled moment arrived in the 82nd minute incident, when Sissoko ate up the ground on Ashley Cole with a stunning burst of speed down the touchline. He was cheered off the pitch at the final whistle, but his popularity on Tyneside soon waned. May 15, 2016. Newcastle 5 Tottenham 1. Newcastle were already relegated. Tottenham were hoping to clinch runners-up spot in the table. It should have been a straightforward away win played in a funereal atmosphere. But the Toon army had an agenda, and it sparked an amazing performance on the pitch. Newcastle may have lost the fight to stay up, but the Geordie nation was determined to win a far more important one, keeping Rafa Benitez at St James Park. From first minute to last, songs of praise cascaded down from the stands. Benitez admitted later he was overwhelmed by the love and passion shown to him by the fans. Spurs were still in the game when Eric Lamela reduced the deficit after first-half goals from Gini Wijnaldum and Alexander Mitrovic, and will have fancied their chances following a 67th-minute red card for the Serb hothead. But it was the Magpies who finished with a flourish, pulling away from Spurs with late goals by Wijnaldum, Rolando Aarons and Daryl Janmaat. Within days, Benitez confirmed he would be staying on. Rarely can supporters of a relegated club have had so much to celebrate. January 29, 2019. Newcastle 2 Manchester City 1. Possibly not one of the finest games of the decade, but definitely one of the best results. No one gave Newcastle a prayer before kick-off, let alone when Sergio Aguero broke the deadlock after just 24 seconds. City have not lost in 22 league games against Newcastle, who had already suffered 8 home defeats since August. But on a night when the Magpies announced the recalled signing of Miguel Armayan, the mood in the stands was upbeat. And Benitez's tactics frustrated the life out of City. Newcastle stayed in the game, levelled through Salomon Rondon before Matrichy scored from the spot after Fernandinho rashly brought down Sean Longstaff. The win moved the Toon 5 points clear of the drop zone. They've never looked in danger of going down ever since.